What's up guys, Theo here with the next episode of Super Korosu World. And the last time we spent forever in most of Fort Nexus and then breezed through the boss. I still don't actually know if I'm gonna make this make that a two-part episode like I do, so I don't actually know what episode number this is. But this time we're gonna take a start in Galoomba Garden. Level has a secret exit. It's kind of bullshit. At least you're being honest about it, I guess. Okay. So this is basically the same kind of jump as we got earlier in the game, where you just want to go through there. Here I'm going to need to catch the bullet bill at a specific spot. Eek. That's a gross landing after that. And then probably shell jump. I'm also not 100% sure if we're going to go for the secret exit right away. If I have any kind of an idea of where it is, I'll try to go for it, I guess. But I could potentially be saving that for later. I have a feeling that the secret exit basically just takes you to Star World. And Star World is normally like post-game stuff, if you will. Or like 100%. Oh, there's a Paragoomba that wasn't there before, okay. So I'm going to need to catch a good bounce off of that bullet bill, and then as that Galoomba, I guess, is parachuting down, bounce off of that, grab the shell, probably shell jump, I would guess. Whew, okay. So I think I had the right idea there. I think I'm gonna have to kick the shell up as I bounce off of the bomb, because otherwise I'll just have the shell bounce into the bomb and both things will die. I'm basically gonna need to kick it up into the air, bounce off the parachuting bomb, do a shell jump, and then grab the Goomba, and then probably do a Goomba jump, which is pretty similar to a shell jump, but not the exact same. So good news is it looks like I can actually probably make it up there. Bad news is I do have to do the kick up still. It looks like I have to use the bomb to basically jump over there, keeping the shell, keep the shell alive as I kill the Goomba, and then basically kick up the Goomba, do a shell jump, hold onto the Goomba as I jump over the other pipe to the right. And then probably use the Goomba to help me do a jump like this, but later in the level. Okay, so I managed to do it. Wasn't the easiest, but it seems like it should be fine. So for this part, I need to not do that. I needed to switch where the shell and the Goomba were, so I could basically go right here, kick the Goomba up, jump up, do a shell jump up while holding the Goomba, and then from there I'm going to kick the Goomba up again and then spin jump across the spiny. Looks like it's going to be pretty tight timing, and you don't do that, but seems doable. Okay, so let's just try this. I jump, bounce, nope, killed the shell somehow even though I was facing the left. That makes no sense. I'll need to figure this out later, I guess. I was trying to bring the Goomba with me as I was doing the shell jump thing, but I'm gonna try to just not bring the Goomba with me and see how that goes. For like my initial, you'll see it when I get up to it, but my initial instincts for this level were to just bring this Goomba with me as I was trying to do this shell jump off to the right, because you can technically maneuver your way around to like kick the Goomba up, do a shell jump as you're on your way up, grab the Goomba, but I'm having doubts about that being the required path. If it is the required path, I may be in a little bit of trouble here if I'm being honest. But we'll just see when we get there, I guess. Okay, so I have a fun little visual cue here of when the level loads in, I basically just hold right and run at the same time. I have to kind of stutter it and wait a second, so you can kind of hear as the level loads in. If I just wait until everything kind of fades in, I'm able to go. If I'm buffering it and holding right and run at the same time, as the level fades in, I'll basically just hit this first bullet bill every time, but I can stagger it for a second and then basically run underneath it every time. It seems to be 100% consistent, so there goes the difficulty of that first one. Damn it! That was the opposite of what I wanted to happen. Okay, so I was afraid of that happening, but basically what you want to do here is basically kick up the shell and then jump and then do a shell jump off of the pipe. I've never really gotten the timing to line up very well, or even really gotten a chance to, but at least I made it here again. And then you basically want to land on the right side of that pipe and then do a quick spin bounce off of the spiny thing right there. I haven't really seen like past the screen specifically, like at all. So I don't really know how long the spiny bounce is. Hopefully not too long, I guess. But what I was initially trying to do when I was bringing this level, or like recording it a little bit, was I was trying to bring this Galoomba with me up to the part of the pipe that I need to jump up to. But it ended up being like excessively difficult, so I figure that's probably not what you're supposed to do. If I end up going for the secret exit of this level, which I may end up doing, I haven't decided if I just want to learn the basic route of this game or learn like the 100% route, because I assume that this is the level that I have to go to get to like the Star World or whatever. Most Kaizo hacks have like at least one level with a secret exit or something that ends up leading to the harder portion of the game. Almost made it. So I need to probably kick the shell up as I get through this part, and then I can just spin, jump, and kill the Galoomba down here, because I don't think I'm gonna need it. I wonder if I even need to kick the shell up. Can I just learn this jump by just grabbing the shell and jumping? In this episode of CO made things way too hard for himself. Okay, so what's the shell jump here? I jump up and I kick it to underneath the lip of the pipe here. So I have to basically jump up, let go 3 tiles up, and then... I barely missed it, but that's okay. A little bit higher next time. But decent progress. I learned that for the first 12 minutes of this level I was making this jump potentially way harder than it needed to be by doing some fancy like shell kick thing. Instead, I can just basically hold the shell off to the right and then bounce, and I should be okay. The problem with holding an item and jumping off of enemies in Super Mario World is that the hitbox is a little janky sometimes. You basically have to be facing off to the right from what I'm gathering here, and you also have to kind of be off to the very right of the enemy's hitbox as well, because the shell that you're holding and the enemy that you're trying to jump off of very commonly overlap. And if they overlap at all, obviously you lose your item. There's probably, like, if the ceiling was actually a little bit lower or higher in this section, I could actually probably do the shell kick thing that I was initially trying to do, where I just like kind of kick it up into the air to buy myself more time. But it kind of feels like that's more what you're supposed to do, where you just go for it. My main problem is that I don't really know how to just go for it and not have the shell and the bob-omb like destroy each other. Okay, so that was like an 80% jump, so maybe if I just do a full jump here, it'll work consistently. Okay. So that might just be like a go in one fell swoop kind of thing. In which case, that actually feels pretty fluid. I basically just get to do this entire segment from the bullet bill bounce on in one motion, and it lines up pretty well, I think. Trying to do any of the extra motion seems to mess with the timing and make this a lot harder. But basically, as long as I catch that bullet bill at the right time, bounce off the Galoomba, and then I can grab the shell and then just go for it full speed here, and I should be able to bounce off that every time. It's at least felt that way so far. And then I can try to do a shell jump here that was closer to what I needed to do. To be honest though, this is actually, I haven't hit it yet, but this feels like a slightly easier shell jump to me than the shell jump I had to do in level 2, at least. So, fingers crossed that I can do that. So it's not 100% consistent with that strategy. I might need to basically ensure that I'm jumping at the exact same spot every time. So like I'll jump at the very lip right there and go for it. I have to kind of jump like to the very edge of the hitbox, like I was saying in my initial recording, I think. So I have to be careful, but it seems like this is going fairly fast so far, knock on wood. I've noticed every other time I've said that in a level, I will then proceed to fuck up everything that I learned for like 30 minutes. But I'm hoping that me setting consistent visual cues here and perhaps kicking the shell horizontally instead of vertically will allow me to get up here finally. Hey, I made it and then didn't actually land where I was supposed to. But I did get a little bit more information. It looks like the shell bounce is not very long, or the Spidey bounce is not very long at all. I'm gonna assume that I have to kind of quickly go through those pipes or something. It's tough because I can't really tell what the theme of this level is so far beyond the parachuting enemies, and they're not really like the fastest enemies. But it seems like this is at least pretty consistent. Okay, so can I scroll here? What am I doing? Just jumping over this? Okay. Alright. Wow, that was only 20 minutes. Cool. So I guess I'll just I'll either edit here, depending on how long this takes. I'll either just go on this pipe and edit here, or call this an episode for the second half. But thank you guys for coming by. That was a really fast episode, if this is an episode 1. But I will see you guys later, and we will finish up this Galoomba Gardens. Bye.